that note, thank you for a wonderful conversation, and let's leave the dais for the Honorable Finance Minister.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. That was a fascinating look at what it takes to build with both scale and speed and stay focused on the long term while navigating the present. Thank you once again, sir. And thank you so much, Pranab, for that wonderful conversation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our next guest really needs very little introduction, though I'm going to attempt one anyway. She has been at the center of India's economic policy making through a period that has tested economies across the world. During that time, India has remained one of the fastest growing major economies with a clear and sustained push on infrastructure and investment and a steady commitment to fiscal discipline. Her tenure has seen the government continue to build at scale, maintain macroeconomic stability through global volatility, and more recently deliver tax relief that has put more money in the hands of consumers. For India Inc., that has translated into something very important: confidence. Confidence to invest, to expand, and to plan for the long term. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to now invite the Honorable Finance Minister of India, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, to this stage. Thank you so much for being here, ma'am. It's wonderful to see you again. In conversation with the Executive Editor of the Economic Times, Shrutijit KK. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Finance Minister, for joining us yet again here in Mumbai for this celebration of corporate excellence. I'm particularly grateful that throughout your tenure, you have joined us for this particular event. You are now India's longest continuously serving Finance Minister. Can I ask you, you've handled a lot of crises, a lot of reforms. It's been a hectic time. Could you look back at this time and sort of give us a sense of what this journey has been like?
I'm not sure if I'll be able to summarize anything. Journey, no. I don't look at it like that. I'm all right carrying on with my assignment. But last few years for not just the finance ministry, but in general, has been very challenging. And I'm sure industry leaders, business leaders also have this feeling that never before has there been a stretch of, let's say, 6-7 years, each year posing a different challenge. That's been my experience as well.
As we look at the situation in West Asia and the crisis that has been unfolding for several months now, during your tenure in office, you've handled many crises. One, do you look at this and say, look, is it quite similar to past crisis? And what is the source of resilience that India has to navigate this?
I don't see it as something which is very different. Uncertainty marked COVID. Uncertainty marked Russia-Ukraine. Uncertainty marked Israel. And now Hormuz. Uncertainty, unpredictability, and challenge for critical inputs that India and its economy needs, fertilizer, fuel, and so on. So it's just seemed to be unending, relentless challenges for these particular commodities which are so critical, not just for India, for any other country as well, but particularly for us because maximum import is of the crude and related products. But the blessing that we have is we have the refining capacity. We can, what little we get, we use for our country and also being able to export. But the uncertainty is the main issue. And the second part of your question is, what is it that which we have as a fallback or as a cushion to take this shock? I think the Indian population and its consumption, essentially your domestic consumption is what is giving you that shock absorbing capacity, if you would want that expression. So as long as we are not going to fail in keeping our consumption boosted and well supported, we can be sure to weather the storm. So that I would think is the biggest support that we have for our economy.
Crude has been testing $100. Crude has historically, oil prices historically has been one of our key macroeconomic vulnerabilities, feeding into, fertilizer prices and everything. So how do you assess the trade-offs in terms of protecting growth, managing inflation, and maintaining external stability?
No, there are no trade-offs. You'll have to just work on all the three simultaneously. There's no way in which you can sit back and say, I have something offsetting this challenge, I have some other thing taking care of some other challenge. No, I think eternal vigil, keeping ourselves alert to the changes, like the latest, which all of you have also reported in the media, the cyber challenge we have because of the mythos is going to be a big one, on which we've spent some time in the ministry with the banks, with the cyber agencies, which are Government of India agencies and so on. Suddenly, that seems to have taken such a dimension that no one is aware of what exactly this animal is, this beast is, and how exactly is it going to play out. Now, would you have imagined a couple of days or a couple of weeks ago that there is this new threat, which is as big as the threat of the war, which is going to hit us in terms of our entire digital network? That digital network, digitization, has brought in such a great change for India. It's a fantastic force multiplier. But now, again, like any other threat, any other cyber threat, you would think, oh, one more. No, this is a totally different thing and of some dimension which we are yet to grapple. So like that, I think it is just a world where things are changing with such rapidity, we'll just have to keep eternally vigilant.
Actually, we reported the story that the NASSCOM itself has written, the representative body of India's IT sector has written to Anthropic, specifically saying our companies should be given access. And they've given access to 40 companies globally, some of whom they have disclosed, all of which are American, rest of which there is no transparency. Now, on a key matter like this, which really could undermine, all kinds of cybersecurity, especially relevant for banking, so many senior banking leaders are here today. We are in a situation where we are at one level somehow at the mercy of a private entity in another country. How do we tackle these kind of situations?
No, first I want to give you a reassuring word on that. The Ministry of Electronics and Telecommunication, MeitY, is fully seized of the challenge that we are facing. And they are engaging with the US administration, they are engaging with Anthropic themselves, and they are also finding out ways in which those few agencies or vendors who have been given the chance to test what this whole thing is all about, they are in touch with them as well. So the ministry is fully seized of this issue, and they are constantly keeping everyone in touch. In fact, the minister was sitting with me when I interacted with the banks in order to alert them, in order to get them together to see if we already can have ways in which, using artificial intelligence, we are able to respond to the challenge which is coming through mythos. So I think, to be fair, the ministry is fully seized of the problem. But of course, we'll have to have the ministry also and all of us also working